Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the We Run on Coffee podcast. I'm Marissa,
And I'm Erica.
and we're back for part two,
Welcome
baby.
back. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, you must go back now because you need the foundations before you can understand what we're getting into today. Okay. It's
The
a
literal
The
foundations.
literal foundations. You need it. Okay. We're talking about feng shui again. We were talking about this last week. We realized it was just going to be way too much info for one episode. So we're breaking it up, which means we're not catching up. We're not looking ahead. We're not even talking about what we're drinking, really. I mean, we'll show you, I guess, but like, that's it. That's all you get. We have to dive in. We're going to talk about implementing feng shui, good feng shui into your home, and we're going to talk about do's and don'ts for like practical application. So, before we dive in, if you didn't listen to last week's episode and you don't plan on it, rude, but I will give you a small amount of
Don't
context.
be mean.
Yeah, come on, go back. It's really a good one. But all the resources for this episode will be in the description, as always. And I'm going to give you a quick run through just so we're all on the same page if this is your first time finding us. So, we're talking about feng shui today. And in our last episode, we talked about the history. We're not going to get into that now, but you should know that there are four principles of feng shui. So, one is qi. We're going to be saying qi a lot. And that's the vital life force or energy. So we're talking about good chi and bad chi and the flow of chi through our homes. So we want good chi to be able to flow through and stay contained, and we want bad chi to get out. So that's one.
Get out.
Get out of here. Second principle we're talking about is commanding position. So this is a term that refers to the spot in a room that's furthest from the door, the entry point of the room, but not directly in line with it. So the commanding position designates where you want to spend the most time in a space, and you'll want a clear line of sight to the door from your commanding position to have the best feng shui possible. So this is like in a corner or back against a wall where you can see the whole room and the entry point of the room. Third principle is Bagua. So Bagua is the feng shui energy map. And we really talked about this in the last episode. So you really should go back to get a lot of visual for what it means. But it's a Chinese word that it means 8 areas. And each area of this map relates to a particular area of your life. So you'll want to take the Bagua map and place it over your home floor plan map to understand how to incorporate feng shui into your house. And then finally, the last principle of feng shui we're talking about is the 5 elements. So again, last episode we really dove in. You have to go back to understand how to incorporate these, but the 5 elements that we talk about are earth, metal, wind, water, and fire. And when incorporating feng shui into your home, you want to balance all 5 of the elements. So you don't want to have a lot of one, a little of the other. You want an equal balance. And you can understand how to practically bring those in the last episode. So I think
Yeah,
that's
and I feel
enough.
like that one is like the most tied in with the Bagua
Yeah,
because like chi, this all creates chi. I feel
right.
like that's how I'm like learning it. I'm the student, Erica's a teacher right now.
Yeah.
And so I feel like she's taught me so far that the Bagua and the 5 elements like go along together. The Bagua
Yeah.
is the layout of it, but the 5 elements are
Like the
what is
how.
actually happening in
Right.
each like section, and
Right.
all of this creates the chi, and then the commanding position is like that's I feel like the most obvious and like most separate. It's just like a location.
Yes, that's pretty much correct. The only thing I would say is I don't think we're creating chi. We're just moving chi that already exists.
Okay.
So I think, but I'm just guessing also because it's really hard to understand. But chi is energy, so I'm assuming that the chi just exists. Like we
Yeah,
can't
because energy cannot be
can't.
created or
Yeah,
destroyed. We talked about
exactly.
this in reincarnation.
Exactly. So it's like all of what Marissa said true, except what we're doing is moving the chi through. And I don't know how maybe we don't. I don't know how we distinguish between good chi and bad chi, but I just know that the goal is to get the bad chi out of here, like we were saying, and keep the good chi flowing properly. You don't want
Yeah, and not like
stagnant chi.
getting
Yeah, you
stagnant.
don't want stagnant chi. You don't want stuck. You don't want that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's pretty much the idea. Hope.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, my notifications are making noise. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know
I
why that's
can't hear
happening.
it, so it
Oh,
shouldn't
good.
come through.
I don't know why that's happening. Okay, so you guys have the reference. So all of that to say we are going to talk about how this is actually implemented into your home and how Marissa and I have implemented it, whether it's on purpose or accident, because we are just learning all this today too. But on the screen now, we're going to go ahead and just put up the Bagua map just so you guys can understand it. Again, it has wealth, fame, partnerships, family, children, knowledge, career, and helpful people, and all around the edges. And then in the center is Tai Chi, or your wellness. And all of those things kind of work around you. So each room of your home, you can apply this Bagua map right over top of the room separately, each one. And you'll see some examples on screen. We'll go ahead and put them on again of just how you overlay that Bagua map onto your home map. And then you can start incorporating all the different elements. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And everybody ignore me. My glasses are pissing me off because they have a really bad glare. So now I'm just gonna be like
It's like
this.
the most annoying thing about being a glasses wearer now. You know, when we started the podcast, you guys, like we were never wearing glasses and now we wear them every time. So it's kind of funny,
I know, and I
but
feel
it's
like
so
I don't
annoying.
look like myself anymore because I
I
was so used to
know,
looking at myself on the screen with my glasses. But
right?
I literally have my curtains. The only thing that's reflecting is the laptop screen, and I
Yeah,
did
it's
change
bright.
locations, but like what?
It's annoying. I know. That's the worst thing about glasses. And I'm like, we're not even like YouTubers that make money off it or anything like that. But I'm still find myself being like, no, I'm a podcaster. So I actually need like anti-glare. It's so funny
Exactly.
because it's annoying. But okay, the first thing we're going to talk about, and these are kind of brief, but we're just going to talk about incorporating good feng shui into your home with practical tips so that it's not so broad. It's a little bit more not confusing. So,
Hmm.
the first way that you can incorporate good feng shui is decorating with plants generally. So, you guys can
Okay.
see my plant behind me. But plants, especially ones with rounder and softer leaves, like the money plant is an example they gave, nourish your energy. So this is
Oh.
a good thing to keep in your home. I think it also, like generally people say when you have plants or like fresh flowers out, it just adds an element of life to your house.
Mhm.
Like keeps it from being just four walls and like nothing with energy. It has energy, it has life, and it has a lot of times color too to bring in.
Mhm.
So they say decorating with plants is just an easy way to get some good feng shui going.
Yeah. How many plants do you have in your house?
A lot. Behind me, you guys can see this one that's kind of going up as a vine, and that one is so long. It starts behind me and it goes all the way over to our glass doors, and it's starting to go up over top. It's grown so much. It came from actually Lauren, who we had in the podcast. You guys know her. She's a big plant girl, and she gave us one leaf, and it turned into this. Yeah, it's so crazy. So we actually just cut a leaf off of it too, and we're starting our first propagation of it, and we're giving
Uh-huh.
it to Taylor as a housewarming because she wants one.
Oh.
So that will be cute. And then behind me, I really want to show you guys this. I'm gonna try to lift it up. I have a spider plant.
Okay.
So I have one upstairs. It's like double this size, but I have two of those and two of these big ones in the back, which this is a pothos. If you guys have never heard of it, pothos. So we have two pothoses, two spider plants, and then I have a cactus, which you guys can see right there. That's five. I have the sixth one is a little succulent somewhere, and it's actually from Mandy's baby shower. Angela's cousin Mandy. I've been meaning to send her a photo, which she listens to the pod, so shout out. But I need to send her a photo because it's from her baby shower and it's thriving, and she now
Aw.
like has fully human like live twins that came from that shower, and I feel like the plants grown with them. It's kind of really
Yeah.
cool. So I love that. And to send her a picture. So that's six plants. I have a Christmas cactus on the ground right here. This is becoming a big tangent. Angela got it for me, like I think for my birthday, more than 3, 4 years ago, maybe 5, 6, 7. I don't even know how many years ago. It's still alive. That's 7 or 8. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if I skipped. And then that might be it. And I used to be one of those people that killed everything. I would kill a succulent.
I
I would
do kill
cactus. I
things.
would, yeah, I used to be that too. I have to say, you guys, shout out to the Planta app. If you're thinking about getting plants for the first time, I use that Planta app, which I've talked about before.
I use an
P
app too, but my phone's all the way over there, so I can't tell you
uh
which one it
P
is.
L A N T A. I don't know if it's the same one you use or not, but Planta it like gives you a notification on when to water. So like you
Mine
type in
does too. Maybe it
oh,
is that.
yeah, it might be. It's just like a green little
Let me see
logo.
the icon.
Yeah. Let me see if it'll. Well, this is the interface. I don't know if that's helpful.
No, that is not the one that I
Oh,
have.
wow. Okay. Well, then there's many. But yeah, the Planta app, it tells you when to water everything and then when to, it asks you for progress updates. I used to have the premium version too, which will tell you like what kind of soil to use and whatever. But
Mm.
if you're just starting out with plants, even just the watering notification's helpful to me because I think I used to overwater stuff and kill it or it underwater it. I was just like never on the right watering path. But yeah, 7 indoor plants, but outside, you guys, I have a lot of plants actually. My flower
I
bed.
have 3 plants.
Ooh, but they're live, right?
Yes,
Okay, that's good.
I have a desert rose bonsai tree and it's in its
Ooh.
infancy still. So
Yeah.
she's getting taller, but she's not
Is
branching
that
out yet.
from the?
The botanical gardens in DC.
Yes. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember the name, but that's so cool.
Yeah, she is growing upwards. I don't think she's gaining any more height, but she hasn't started growing branches out yet. So I'm
Right.
curious to see how that happens. I
Interesting.
have a snake plant, which is like just
Yes, those are
growing
cool.
crazy.
Yeah, I
It
want
like
one.
it it was doing really poorly, and then I started like trying to take care of it a little bit
Yeah.
more, and she's thriving. And then I have a
Yay.
huge monstera.
Yes, I remember you sending me when you bought that, and I think you told us in the pod. That
Hmm.
is so fun. I love a house plant. I want more, but I want to be able to keep up with them. So this one made me
Yeah.
feel good because it's actually really easy to take care of, and it's so big that I like feel really accomplished, even though I don't do much with it.
Yeah.
So I want a lot of plants. But yeah, that's good feng shui, having a plant generally. So
I know that was such a
it
tangent,
was,
but
but I love
I
it.
I wanted to
What we
ask you how
do.
many plants you had.
Yeah. Okay, so the next little rule for incorporating good feng shui is we've talked about enough, but just considering the position of where you're positioning things, so like your stove, your desk, your bed, whatever, keeping those in commanding position, furthest from the door, not directly across from the door. But you may also want to consider your home direction overall. So just
Wow.
yeah, I just think there's so much behind all of this that I didn't have time to dive into that I'm just like itching to like learn more, especially the one of the school of practice where they use like a compass, like in the energy of the year, that kind of stuff. It all can play in. So I don't know. Interesting. Um, Next thing for good feng shui, balancing your colors. So using that Bagua map, like we showed you guys, overlay it on your floor plan and improve and choose like corresponding colors to strengthen the energy in certain areas. So like we said, if you want to focus on one or two topics, that's the best way to start. So maybe you want to focus on family, incorporate a little bit of green into that area, which can even be a plant. Purple is used for wealth. So all of those corresponding colors, you can tie those colors in to that area on your map to strengthen those areas of your life, which seems like a really easy way to strengthen the areas of your life. So I wonder
Yeah.
how that plays out. Next one, this is just for any good space, I feel like
Yeah.
declutter. Like this is just a good one in general. Declutter, but excessive clutter can cause blocked chi, like we were saying. So it doesn't let the chi flow. So let go of excess items that take up valuable space because the space is valuable to letting that chi flow and bounce around. So next one, keep traffic flow open as well. So passageways, doorways, hallways should be kept open to clear your route. So avoid placing furniture at the entrance of a room, which I found really interesting. So I think that there's like some sort of balance here, right? Like sometimes you enter someone's home and they have like a little side table going down the side, of like their hallway or something. I don't know if that counts as keeping the flow open or not, but I don't know. It's just an
It's a
interesting
good
one.
point though. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking, and I have doors that go out onto my balcony, which are similar to the glass doors in your
Mm,
house.
yeah.
And I'm thinking like, well, I don't have anything like inherently blocking it. My dining room table does sit in that area,
Right.
and like it's
It's
lined
no
up to
longer
the
a
middle of the
walkway. Yeah.
doors. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a stop, like a stop point
Yeah,
almost.
and I think that it would be a lot more open downstairs if we were able to get rid of the table because we don't even eat
Right.
at that dining room table, but we don't have anywhere to put it while we're in this
Mm,
place.
hmm.
So it doesn't
That's
really
hard.
work out.
Yeah. The next one for good feng shui is to fix things that are broken. So if you fix
Yeah.
things that are broken in your home, which honestly just another good rule for life, but it will improve the chi of a space. So broken mirrors, especially, we're going to dive into this, but broken mirrors, especially if it breaks, literally get it out immediately. That is what they say for maintaining your good feng shui.
I feel like that's like a thing in general is like a broken
Like a
mirror
bad
brings bad
luck.
luck
Yeah,
or something. But
true.
I just getting broken things out of your space is always
It's
important.
always
We
a good
need to,
idea.
and
Yep.
I feel like that goes back to the clutter. Like I would say that a
Yes.
broken thing is clutter. Like it's no longer serving you, so get it out.
Yeah, and it feels good to get it out of like it just feels good in general to get clutter out of your space and like it doesn't stress your brain out as much to be
Yeah,
looking at it all the
for
time.
sure.
Okay, using the five elements. So good feng shui, like we talked about, five elements, the earth, metal, water, wood, and fire, but make sure each element is balanced and incorporated in the appropriate spaces to your Bagua map.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is to have a strong entryway. So this is really interesting. The entryway is where they say that energy enters your space in your life. So you want to create a space that's warm, bright, and clutter-free. So kind of keeping your entryway simplified so that the chi can come in and then once it's in, it can bounce, which is what mirrors do, but it can bounce and move and flow throughout your space.
Oh,
So I really like that
maybe I need
one.
to put a mirror in my living room.
So yeah, this is what they say. I'm pretty sure, which we will dive into do's and don'ts, but I'm pretty sure a don't for feng shui is to use a mirror in your entryway, especially directly
Mhm.
across from your door, because then when the energy comes into your front
Oh, it just
entryway, it
bounces
bounces
out.
right back out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're always like there's always rules on how to place mirrors the right way in your entry or whatever. So it's kind of cool. Um, Last tip regarding just good feng shui in general is to maximize natural light. So rooms with ample sunlight enhance well-being and vitality, and positioning windows to stream in light or using mirrors to amplify natural light is a good
Mm.
thing. But it says beware of positioning with furniture. So we'll get
Oh
into it.
yeah, like the bed like can't be by a
Right.
window. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like that's one thing that I got going. Like that's why I had to
Yeah, there you
use
go.
we have so much natural light in this apartment because there's
That's
like a
true.
100,000 windows.
Yeah, which is really nice and apparently great feng shui.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about mirrors and feng shui in general because, like I said in the last episode, it's just like what I commonly think of when I think of feng shui. I think, oh yeah, you're like not supposed to put a mirror in a certain way. It's just like something I've heard a lot of times, but I want to understand it better. So,
And don't worry, guys. I know I said something about mirrors and paranormal things last
oh yeah, yeah,
episode.
yeah, that's
It's
right.
coming back. I'm just waiting for the do's and
The
don'ts
right
section of
time.
the mirrors.
Yeah. Okay. So in feng shui, mirrors contain water element energy. So the water element is responsible for wealth and good fortune flowing into your life. So mirrors are also used as a way to direct chi, like I was saying, anywhere that you want it to go. So you can position mirrors and other things strategically as to either deflect negative energy or negative chi, as a cure to keep energy from going down a drain, or it can be used to double good energy. They say like that it
Mm.
can double it or like make it more excessive. So because mirrors reflect, they can be used to double other elements as well. Okay. So
Oh.
whatever they reflect, so like if you hang a mirror above a fireplace, that can reduce the fire. But if you're hanging a mirror like across from another element, it can double the element. So it's really like really
Oh.
intertwined and a little bit confusing.
That is really cool because I'm thinking about the tiny mirror above your head right now and it
Oh
faces towards
yeah.
your couch. So I would think a couch is like family,
Wait.
relationship,
That's
partnership
so
kind of thing.
true.
So maybe you're doubling the love
I'm
in your
shook.
house.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of pictures where they have a mirror over the fireplace instead of like we have our TV over our mantle, but a lot of places have a mirror, and I guess that that's like reducing the fire, which is helping the overall balance of their home. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Just
was just thinking about that too
crazy.
because my where my fireplace is, it's in a very
Yeah.
similar location to yours in our apartment. And
Yeah.
we also put a TV up above like up above it.
Hmm.
So
Which is like a general don't in life. Did you know that? You're not
to put
supposed
a
to do
TV
that.
above a fire.
Yeah, because of actually using the fire, it's like bad for the TV or something. We never make a fire, and also I don't really care that much. But generally, in interior design, which by the way, that's like one of my upcoming things I want to do is an interior design episode. But that is like a general don't. So I think that's
Hmm.
funny, but it doesn't represent bad feng shui. So it's just interesting.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess it would make
Um.
sense like it's bad for the wires and whatnot.
Yeah. Supposedly. I don't know. But
Whatever.
mirror shapes is what we're going to talk about, which is this is something I didn't even think of until they told me to think about it. The shape of mirrors in feng shui can also enhance energy, so you can use them to balance, feed, or reduce elements, like we were saying. So each shape kind of has an element related to it. So a square mirror is going to be more like earth element. A circle or an oval mirror is more of a metal element, which I feel like too. When I picture a circle mirror, I see like a gold frame around the edge. Like those are popular.
Mm.
So that kind of makes sense. Wavy mirror, water element, that tracks. A tall and skinny or rectangle mirror is wood element, which is kind of funny because that's what I have in my living room, and it's brown. And I feel like it's giving wood, even though it's not. It kind of
Whoa.
still gives that vibe. And then a triangle mirror specifically is fire element, which fire
Now,
relates
who
to
in the
triangles.
hail has a triangle
I
mirror?
feel like what's funny is I feel like you see sometimes at like dollar section at Target or Five Below, they have like little decorations, and sometimes they have like a little triangle mirror with like a little chain. And I can actually
It's
picture it in my
just
head,
so
but it's always like a
silly.
little decoration that I would never think to actually use.
Yeah,
But apparently for fire element, it makes sense. It aligns.
I guess.
So then there's two other mirror shapes that can be useful in feng shui. So one is concave, one is convex. So the concave mirrors are like shaped like a bowl and they reduce whatever they're reflecting because they make it smaller. So they can be used to reduce negative energy. And then on the contrary, convex mirrors, these like bend outward a little bit more, like a more of a bubble, and they enlarge, they reflect. So they can give you a wider lens and help you see more of whatever they're reflecting. So that's used to expand energy. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Do's and don'ts. Here we go. So we're going to start with the do's, we're going to end with the don'ts, and then we're going to end the episode. So this is do's and don'ts for feng shui mirror placement specifically, which I think it's so funny that I was able to get this much content out of just placing a mirror. Like,
Yeah, I was
there's
just
so much
going
to the
and
whole
there's like
thing.
3 pages of just mirror
Yes.
content.
I'm like, this is out of this whole thing, like do's and don'ts for feng shui in general. There's so many, but just the mirrors as a whole, I'm like, ah. So, anyways, these are some do's for using mirrors in feng shui. So, do keep in mind that mirrors double everything they reflect, like we were saying. So, the number one thing to keep in mind is that they will double the energy of what they reflect, whether it's positive or negative. So, that's why you have to be a little bit careful. So, when you're using mirrors to double energy, consider using them in your home's wealth area to double wealth energy, which I was like, wait, love. Behind the stove, you could double abundance or as a command position, but like who has a mirror above their stove? I've never seen that.
I just don't understand
That's
how it would
very weird.
fit there because normally a stove has like the thing above it, like the
Yeah, the range hood. Yeah.
yeah, the what thing said just like
Yeah, yeah.
the sucker. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you what it was called. And I'm like, there's no room for something to go behind it.
No, it's or there's like ours has backsplash behind it, but I couldn't imagine putting a mirror there. That would be really weird. It's just
What
like
if it
you
was like
see your
mirrory
midriff.
black
Yeah,
splash?
that's true. It could be. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Consider using them across from windows to double the pleasant view. Now that's
Mm.
interesting because you don't want to use it across from a door, so just be careful there.
Oh.
But in your dining room, you could use it to double abundance and happy relationships. Yes, Marissa has a question.
I have one mirror in my house. Well,
Oh,
two, I
really?
guess.
I honestly have a
Yeah.
lot, actually.
I
Now that I
only
think
have
about it.
a full-length body mirror and I
Yeah.
have the mirror in my bathroom and
Yeah.
both of them face doors. So what am I supposed to do?
That's
How are you
interesting.
supposed to have a mirror in your bathroom that doesn't face door? Well, I'm
Mine
guessing
doesn't.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
looking at your
Yeah.
bathroom immediately popped into my head and I was like,
Right.
okay,
You
it
walk
doesn't
into my
fit.
bathroom and my mirror's like on the right. So I think that makes sense. And then in my living room, I have a mirror literally in commanding position, which I think is good. Like my couch and mirror are in commanding position. So I think that's good. Then I have this little guy right here that's just a decoration. And I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else. But I also wonder about like, you can see a strong reflection in the TV.
That's
Like,
true.
is that reflecting energy? Like, that's something I didn't really look into that I'm interested about too.
Oh,
Like, does it have to be just a mirror or can it be anything reflective? Our
weird.
glasses, we're reflecting energy all day. Oh, she's like, get out of here, you bad energy bitch. Oh my God. Okay, anyways, interesting considerations. It also says when using mirrors, consider using them next to growing plants to double the expansive wood energy.
Okay.
And then next to this one's funny, next to a cash register to double your sales and income. So like if you own
Okay.
something, throw up a little mirror in your shop. I kind of like that. Worth a shot, you know?
Yeah, definitely worth a shot.
Okay, another do is use mirrors to move energy. So we've talked about this a lot, but it's going to give us some more practical stuff. So you can use mirrors to help move energy throughout your home, deflecting it away from drains or from bouncing out of doorways. So for example, you can place mirrors out on the outside of a bathroom door, which again, putting a mirror on a door? Like some of these are a little impractical to me, but I don't know. You can place it on the outside of a bathroom door to bounce energy away from draining your chi. So there's a lot of drains in your bathroom, right? Like your sink, your toilet, your shower, and it's believed that chi can flow out of your home that way.
Okay.
So you can use mirrors as you wish to deflect. I think it's a hard one
Yeah,
because like having a lot of mirrors going on in your bathroom is just weird in general. Like you don't want to mirror like by the toilet, like because you're using it. You don't want to like have to look at yourself while you're going to the bathroom. I don't know. It's just like a
that's
weird
so
thing.
funny.
But you can also place mirrors in your entryway, not across from the front door, like we said, which we'll get into in the
Hmm.
don'ts. But you can try to use them in a way to bounce energy into your home instead of away from it. So
Okay.
it can flow through the door, and maybe you have like a kind of off to the side mirror that can help bounce it into your open area or whatever. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like I've seen oftentimes mirrors in entryways, but
Yeah.
like on an
It's common.
opposing wall or
Yeah,
something.
it's a good one. You can also use mirrors above fireplaces, like we said. This helps balance the fire element. So because it's not reflecting the fire, it's above it. So it's not reflecting it, which means it's not doubling it. It's actually reducing it and kind of pulling it up.
Hmm.
So to balance the fire element energy of the fireplace, put it above. You can also use them in a dark or long hallway to help move energy, which I thought was interesting. So I guess a dark, long hallway, maybe it's harder for energy to flow because it's stagnant. So
Mm-hmm.
you can use them in that way. You can use mirrors next to stairways to keep energy from moving up or down the stairs, which is interesting.
Oh,
Yeah. And then you can use them in front of a sharp corner or poison arrows. What's that
what is
mean?
that? Mm.
Well, you can use them in front of sharp corners or poison arrows to bounce and soften energy. That must be like a term for something. Actually, don't know
I'm
what that is.
looking.
Yeah. Stay with us, people. I'm curious. Poison arrow.
It's a
In
feng shui term. 8 tips to show you how to recognize them.
They're sharp corners. Oh, I think it's just another word for sharp corners, but they're said to bring negative energy to a point, and then, like an arrow, the energy shoots towards you.
Ugh,
Eee! That
I'm
sounds
scared.
bad. Wait, that actually sounds bad. I do not like that. Negative energy that emanates from anything sharply pointing toward a main door, your body, or your home. Wow,
Oh.
we're learning something new.
So
So
get your mirrors and put them there.
yeah, put them to bounce energy from poison arrows and soften it. So I guess the poison arrow
Oh,
would shoot the bad energy towards the mirror would bounce it off, and then that would soften it rather than it shooting right at you, I guess. I don't know,
yeah.
that's really like I didn't know about that.
No.
Okay.
I
Another
looked at
do.
poison arrows first and it literally showed me how to kill prey. And I was like,
Oh
oh,
shoot. Oh shoot, like actual arrows. Wait, that's funny.
yeah.
Okay, so another do with mirrors is using them to correct your command position. So this is a good one. So in Feng Shui, the command position is the seat of power. So
Hmm.
when you're seated in the command position, you should be able to see the whole room and the door from your seat, like I was saying. And you should be able to see anyone who enters or leaves the space through the doorway. So when someone could sneak up behind you, you're not in the right position. Okay, you're not in the position of
Mm.
power. So that's how you can kind of test where your commanding position is too and remember it. So the most important command positions are your desk. You should be able to see the door, which mine is definitely not good. You should be able
Yeah,
to
mine
see the
isn't
door
either.
when you are seated at your desk, whether it's at work or in your home office. In your main seating area, wherever the head of the household sits the most, that seat should be in the command position. So that's interesting. Like head of the table or whatever should be facing the doorway. Um, your bed, you should be able to see the door from your bed. So my bed's
I feel
Gucci.
like that's pretty easy.
That's yeah, like a classic one. The stovetop, when cooking, you should be able to see the doorway to the kitchen, which I don't even know how that
I
would. They're always
can't.
against a wall. Like,
Yeah, but if you think about like your stove is in a like position that you can see the door, even though it's like directly across from the door.
yeah, if you turn
Mine is like
around.
around the corner and I can't see the door
Right.
from
Yours
it.
is even more buried, yeah. It's just interesting because it's like against a wall. So if I'm cooking on the stove, I can only see the stove,
Yeah, so you
you
better
know?
put a
So
mirror
weird.
above your
I
stove.
guess, yeah. And then the dining table, so the head position of the dining table, like it was saying in the other one, should be able to see the door. So it isn't always possible to position furniture in the command position. They're acknowledging that. So this is where you can use mirrors instead. So if you place a mirror in front of you so that it reflects the door, that will help you see anyone who enters and put you back in command position. So facing a
Mm,
mirror that shows the door can still like be your command position. So that's
yeah.
actually literally exactly what my mirror is in my living room. It's in my command position and I can see the reflection of the door in it.
Hmm.
So very cool. A couple more do's. Do keep your mirrors clean. Another just good tip for life. Like things
I'm
people should
really
have done
bad
better.
at it, Erica.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah.
So we have our chores day that I always talk about where we have a spreadsheet and we do it once a month and that's just like one of the things on it. So every month we clean them. But because they double energy, you want them to be clean. So mirrors that are like cloudy, dirty, or smudged will reflect the stagnant chi. Not me reading it as chai tea. Chi. So mirrors also affect how we see things. So if you're looking at a cloudy or dirty mirror, it can reflect how you see the world in your home. And all of your household mirrors, add all of your household mirrors, it says, to your cleaning routine, and
Oh.
the energy chi energy, I don't know, that seems like a typo, will continue to be clean and clear. So
Mm,
basically, keep up with your cleaning to keep your chi clean, clear, and good. Do hang your mirrors so that you can see your reflection properly. So
mm.
be sure to hang mirrors so that you can see yourself when you walk by. If you have a mirror by your front door, you should be able to see your entire head when you pass by it. So that's like if you're cutting your head off with the reflection in the mirror, that's probably bad chi. Yes.
What if your husband is 6'2" and you are five
Yeah.
foot?
You're gonna need a bigger mirror. Yeah,
Because
that's
I'm
really
thinking, I'm like,
true.
there's no way we could put a
Yeah.
mirror by the door and we could both see our entire head and
Yeah, it'd
shoulders.
have to be like sitting on top of a table or hanging, and it'd have to be one of those like tall, like a half wall, like
Yeah.
a big boy. But yeah, it says mirrors that chop up your reflection can cause problems like the inability to see yourself clearly. So
Like
if
you literally
possible,
walking outside and getting your head chopped off because you can't
yeah.
see it.
Yep.
Got
If you
it.
have bad feng shui, you just won't make it very long. Sorry. No, if it says if possible, you want to be able to see your entire face or your entire body if the mirror is large enough. But as long as you're not like cutting your head off from your body, that's like I guess kind of bad luck in a
I'm
way.
thinking about where our full length mirror is now, and
Yeah.
it's definitely not in a position that Kyle can see his whole body because I can't even see my head in it. It's
Yikes.
just sitting on the floor.
This is bad luck for Kyle. Maybe if
Yeah,
you fix it, he won't be getting sick so much anymore. Maybe it's like
maybe.
popping his immune system with along with his head. Okay. Last to do is be mindful of decorative mirrors. So it says because
Oh.
mirrors are so important in feng shui, be careful about buying decorative mirrors. So like ones that are crackly, like if you've ever seen a crackle
Mm.
mirror or like cloudy mirrors or other decorative mirrors that have like sharp cracks or cloudy reflections, they can really cause chi to not move properly. So this would include like a mosaic mirror, antique mirrors specifically. So if you want to keep the mosaic or antique mirror, you have to display it as a decoration and not as a feng shui energy cure. So try to
Mm.
use it less like you would
Like
use
in a
a
decor
mirror,
spot, not in a
right?
place where you're
Like
like where
affecting
you'd
the
be
chi.
yeah.
Yeah, like affecting the flow. It says, I think maybe this is just an example, but it says like a console table with a small circular mirror hanging above. No, I just think that's in the wrong place. Ignore that. I don't know what that is. Okay. That's all the do's. Phew. Now we're moving into the don'ts.
The
This is a little bit of a
don'ts.
smaller section, but there are some mirror placements that can cause chi to bounce to the wrong area or cause
Mm.
energy to move too quickly, which is apparently also bad.
Oh,
Yeah. So don't place a mirror directly across from the front door. We've said it 100 times, but this will cause fresh chi to just bounce right back out of the door every time the door is opened. So that's why that is a don't.
bye. Bye.
But
Bye.
literally, yep. If you're having a really bad luck in your life and you have a mirror across from your door, I would just attempt to move it. Like, just give it a
Yeah.
shot. You know, it's worth trying.
Just move it like
Um,
to the side just a bit.
yeah, just put it on the opposite wall, like the side wall, you know.
Hmm.
Don't place mirrors directly across from your bed. While this isn't 100% a don't, it's generally not recommended to have mirrors reflecting the bed while you sleep. So they can
Mm.
bounce energy and cause it to move too quickly, causing insomnia or
Oh,
like
whoa.
like restless sleeping patterns.
That's really funny
So,
because in my childhood bedroom I had a bunch of mirrors because my
ooh,
my dad and I found this dresser set at an antique store
mm,
and he bought it for me for one of my birthdays, the whole set. So like all
yes.
the furniture matched and both of the dressers that came with it had a mirror attachment to the top.
Yeah.
And I had the one of them facing across from the bed and I had really
Yeah.
poor sleep when I lived at home.
Whoa, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I wish we had a way to test this now. Like, I don't feel like I'm experiencing anything crazy right now, but I wish I had a way that I could like test it and check back
Well,
in.
you have a TV in your bedroom, don't you?
Yes, we do.
And
We have a
it
TV across
reflects
from our
the
bed. Yeah.
it reflects the bed, so I'm curious if that like does
I
anything.
know. I've been sleeping pretty good ever since I bought my expensive bougie pillow. Thanks, Madeline. But yeah, I don't know. So another thing it says is that if you already have mirrors across from your bed and they don't bother you,
Oh,
cool. That's
perfect. So your
great.
TV's fine.
You don't have to change it. Yeah, but if you struggle with insomnia or sleep disturbances, try covering them for like a few nights or like just move them and see if it helps. That's what they say.
Something really interesting about like covering mirrors is like in way olden times, like the
Mm-hmm.
1800s, they would cover all of the mirrors in a house when somebody passed because
Mm,
they believed that the energy of the person that had passed could get trapped in the mirror. So they would
yeah.
cover them. And it was back in a time where funeral parlors like didn't necessarily exist. So you would just have the
Right.
funeral or like
At
the
home.
ceremony at home and they would keep the mirrors covered from the time of passing until the funeral had been held and the person was moved out of the house.
So that reminds me, interestingly enough, we're going to go on a tangent right now. Um, that is still common practice in a Shiva. Are you familiar with a Shiva in Jewish
I've
culture?
heard of it.
So I would say maybe half-ish of my coworkers are Jewish, and so I feel like I've learned so much about it. And I also follow some influencers who live in New York, and they are Jewish as well. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm picking up on so much. So this is something I've recently learned about a Shiva. It's like a mourning period. So
Is it
it's
like
the
a
same
week?
vibe. Yeah, it's 7 days of mourning, and it's the same vibe of when someone passes away. But you cover all the mirrors in your house while you do that. And that's still like super common practice.
Huh.
So I'm going to tell you guys really quick. So it says it's both Jewish and Hindu mourning period,
Huh.
actually. So for the Jewish mourning period, it's 7 days of mourning for a deceased loved one, a time for like spiritual and emotional healing. And so people join together and they do this in the home. And so I actually also just learned that in Judaism, there's no like open casket, there's nothing. And like when a
Hmm.
person dies, they are like buried immediately. It's not
Oh.
like in I don't even know. I don't know if it's Christian culture or just like American culture. I don't know what culture you would say, but like traditionally what I've seen is like you keep the body in the casket and you have it for like a little while. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe you wait a
That's
couple
why
days,
they're
you do the
prepared. Yeah.
showing. Yeah, you do the showing, then maybe like you wait another day or two and then you can do the burial and like there can be time in between. In Judaism, it's like absolutely not. I think it's actually bad luck and I know like a lot of Judaism is superstition actually.
Yeah, and I feel like it can be seen as like disrespectful for
Yeah.
the deceased because like if I'm looking at it from the point of view that you're bringing up is like if
Yeah.
I'm just letting my deceased loved one lay around for days on end, that's not very restful to the deceased
Right.
member.
Yeah, so I guess they do this like 7 day period of Shiva where so the person gets buried like immediately and there's no open casket or anything of that sort. It's just like they do a service, but it's you don't get to see the body or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then immediate burial and then they do Shiva after for 7 days. So
Okay.
anyways, all that to say, I thought that was interesting because it's like that covering the mirrors is actually still a practice and I don't exactly know why. I don't know if it's the same reason, but it's just interesting.
That makes me intrigued. Like, this is such a tangent, but like thinking
Yeah.
of like bereavement time, I know
Yeah.
for my job, I only get it's like certain amount of hours or days based
Yeah.
on if like who the it's based on like the relatedness of the person that has passed for
Right.
bereavement. But if you are Jewish and are trying to practice Shiva, would you get the whole 7 days because that's then a religious
Yeah.
ceremony of
It's a good
mourning
question.
period?
Yeah, I actually don't know the answer to that, but I
I
would
think it
be
would
interested in
depend on
that too.
how much you practice Judaism because I know one of my
Right,
friends is Jewish and I don't know if she would like
right,
do all of that because I know there's like varying levels of everybody in every
right.
religion.
Yeah, exactly. I know I some of the influencers I watch, which actually would never know it unless you like really watch them, like you wouldn't know it by because if you think of someone who's extremely Orthodox Jewish, I was gonna say Judaism, no, extremely Orthodox Jewish, they might still even wear like traditional garb, like traditional
Yeah, like
clothes, and
hair.
do their hair the certain way. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
because in Orthodox Judaism, I believe that you after being married, you can't show your hair. So they either wear headscarves or they wear
Mm.
wigs.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking of like I know that some people have like the curl hair that goes down on the side, like just a small piece. Anyways, maybe we should do like a Judaism episode. That'd be really interesting. It's just interesting to me, but I guess Shiva in Hebrew means seven. So just a fun
Oh, that
fact.
makes
But
sense then.
yeah. Anyways, that was such a tangent, but it is interesting. And I guess mirrors, maybe they have a lot more meanings in other cultures too. Like
I guess so,
apparently we could
maybe.
have a whole mirror episode. Like who even knows? This is crazy. But back to the don'ts. So there's only two more, but another don't is don't have a mirror reflecting the toilet. Why would you? I don't know. That's what I was saying. That would be weird. But if you do, toilets are energy drains. So reflecting the toilet can cause energy to bounce directly toward the drain and just get out of there. So don't do
Hmm.
that. It says if you can't move the mirror, like say you're living in an apartment, maybe like a tiny apartment in New York, okay? You have like your mirror and your sink and your toilet's right there. I guess that could make sense. You don't want that. However, you can try placing a plant
Mm.
in front of it to soften the chi. So there's a lot of these different practices that are like softening the chi rather than if you can't get rid of it or whatever.
Thinking of
So
my like scenario, my bathroom mirror reflects there's two doors into my
yeah.
bathroom, one from the main living area and one from the bedroom. And
Mhm.
I think you can see both doors in my mirror. So
Yeah.
I wonder if I need a bathroom plant to sit there.
Yeah, that might be interesting to try. And that's hard too because there's usually not natural light in bathrooms all that often. So finding a bathroom plant could be hard. You could do a fake
Yeah.
one maybe, but
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
interesting. Last one, which we already touched on. Do not keep broken mirrors. Broken mirrors can cause all sorts of energetic problems from interrupting the flow of wealth to causing distorted vision. So replace or repair a
Mm,
broken mirror as soon as possible.
yeah. Mine was not on here. So the
Okay,
one
tell
that
us.
is a thing in like paranormal research and
Yeah.
stuff that I hear often, like if people are, if I'm watching like a spooky video of people exploring a
Yeah.
haunted place, they say that if you place two mirrors facing each other, so they're
Mm,
reflecting in each other, it can create like a portal. And that's
interesting.
like a way that paranormal energy can like enter your space is through this portal. So
Yeah.
I was curious if it was like don't have mirrors facing each other. Oftentimes I feel like it's pretty difficult to place mirrors so that they are doing that. But like if
Hmm.
you're in a hall and there's two mirrors and you can see the reflection of either mirror in it across the
Yeah.
hall, that would like create that vortex of energy.
Yeah, I just Googled it to see because I am curious about that. And it does, this is what it says. It says, according to Feng Shui, placing two mirrors directly facing each other, it's not recommended and it can cause bad things for the people of the home, but not in the same way of a portal or whatever. But it does say it creates a disruptive energy flow. So the chi bounces back and forth between them and it
Hmm.
can lead to you feeling just like overall disoriented or negative. So it's not as, I guess, intense maybe as like the
Yeah.
portal situation, but it does not recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
So,
it makes sense. Like if they are these things that can help reflect energy, if we're only
right.
reflecting the energy back and forth, that's just going to cause
Like a infinite loop.
disruption, like it
Yeah.
says. And then I think that's sort of where like the portal thing comes in. So I'm guessing this is probably
Yeah.
something that came off of like feng shui in the past. And they're like,
Maybe.
well,
Yeah.
if the energy is bouncing back and forth so much, like it's just becoming like this portal.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So, last point, which this can be however short or long we want, but thinking about everything we've learned in the last two episodes, do you have any places in your house where you've accidentally or purposely incorporated good feng shui that you can think of? And I know we kind of
Don't
talked about them throughout
think
too, but
So our bedroom is like a pretty weird shape. Like we have two huge windows on one wall,
hmm
and the other wall has the door to the bathroom and the door to
yeah.
the closet. And I think we the best way to put the bed was opposite the doors to the
hmm
closet and the bathroom and not on the wall with the window. So I guess that accidentally created better feng
Yeah.
shui than putting it on the window wall.
Yeah, that's so true. I think there's a lot of accidental good feng shui throughout, just as we talked about it. Like, for example, I obviously have a lot of plants, so apparently that's good. But I am curious, like, I have not yet put the Bagua map over my house. So I'm
Hmm.
interested to see what comes of that. I feel like, in one way, it's like kind of, I don't even know if it's the right bias, but like confirmation bias, where it's like we'll be looking, I just don't know if that's the right one, but we'll be looking for it. So we're going to be like, yeah, oh my gosh, I do have good
Yeah.
wealth corner, but it's like because we're looking for it. But
Uh-huh.
it also could be because the feng shui is working. I don't know. So I
Yeah.
want to do the maps. I almost wonder. Let us know in the comments if we should do a part three. And this is what I'm thinking. Marissa and I each draw our floor plans and add our Bagua maps, talk about the good and the bad, and then also maybe talk about general feng shui do and don'ts as far as like organizing your furniture because that's a whole other freaking thing, which
Yeah.
this will be in a few months, but like let us know if you guys would want that because I think that could be fun.
I'm thinking back to other places where I've accidentally incorporated bad feng shui or good feng shui, not bad. But
Yeah,
I'm thinking back to the Bagua map and the
right.
center being health and like being
Yeah,
Yu and Tai Chi and it having the color yellow. Yellow's my favorite
it
color. So
is.
maybe that means that in
You're the
general in my
center of it
life,
all.
I have good
Yeah.
feng shui.
Wait, I like that. Yeah, that's really interesting. And then, well, because you accidentally said bad, I want to know, on the contrary, do you have any bad feng shui on accident that you
For
haven't
sure, the
have or
mirrors
haven't
and the
mentioned? Yeah, the
doors.
mirrors for sure.
The
I know
mirrors
it's
for the
so
doors.
hard. It's so hard with the entry points too, because when you brought this up, I didn't even think about our double doors as being an entry
Uh-huh.
point because just it talks about using your front door specifically for the
Hmm.
map, which makes sense, but a door is a door and an entry to the home. So I wonder if I have bad feng shui here. I'm just trying to think about it. I actually don't
Yeah.
know. It's really hard. There's so much
I'm
going on with it.
I'm thinking it's definitely harder when you live in a small space to cultivate
Yeah,
feng shui because
true.
like I wouldn't say that I have a lot of clutter, but like next to me I have this lamp that you can see. It's not even plugged in. Like that's clutter. I have it's sitting on a side
Yeah,
table that literally has nothing on it.
I
Like
feel that.
that's just like it's a piece of furniture that Kyle got for me when I moved to college, and it
Yeah.
was something that like I want to keep this, and it's something that will be useful eventually, but
Mm-hmm.
not right now in the space that we live in. And I feel like there's a lot of things like
Yeah.
that in this apartment. We both came together. This is the first place we lived together, so we had to bring
Yeah.
everything we
All your
had,
stuff.
and we don't have like the money for a storage unit, so why would I like put things in
Yeah.
storage? So I'm just gonna sit it in places in my apartment, but
Right.
I could do better. Like my TV entertainment stand in front of me, there's shelves on it. There's literally nothing on the shelf because like
That's
I
funny.
don't like it's just sitting
Yeah.
somewhere
So
else and
that's
it's
a
not
yeah, that's a
nice.
perfect opportunity though to bring in the elements. So I'll be interested to see when you do your map what it looks like. And I also wonder like how to do the map for your house because Marissa has like a what do you call that even like a
A
loft?
loft.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so I wonder you could probably do either, but I wonder if you do the loft by itself or if you do the house as a whole and
That's what
just
I was
know that the
thinking.
loft is above this certain area and
It's
just
above
focus
the
on that.
kitchen, but I feel
Yeah.
like the kitchen isn't. I would have to look at the feng shui map because I feel like the
Yeah,
kitchen and then like the upstairs, they should have two different vibes. So I feel like I would do them separately.
separately.
But I also feel like this space isn't big enough
To do separate.
to
Yeah.
do
It's so
separate.
hard. Like, so yeah, you guys, if you're trying to do your Bagua map, here's what I would say as a general thing. Like, if you live in what I'm gonna call a ranch style, because I think that's the proper name, but like a one floor place, like especially a lot of apartments, at least our last apartments, were like one floor, no up, no down, like
Mhm.
no townhouse style, but just a ranch. You can just put the Bagua map over your whole place, front door at the bottom, super easy. When you have multiple floors, I think that's where it gets tricky. And I think you're right. I think you need to do them separately. So you could either like do each room as its own, or I think you could do like your bottom floor plan and your top floor plan. So it's kind of hard,
Yeah, because I
but
was even thinking because there was one that was an image of just the bedroom. So I think that I would want to do
yeah,
my bedroom separate,
separately.
but then I would also want to do the house as a whole.
Honestly, yeah, I honestly do both because I wonder what align. Like there might be overlaps that just make sense, which would
Yeah.
be really interesting. So let us know, you guys, in the comments, please, 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 if you want another one of this, or if you're like over feng shui, this was too much, you're done. But it would be in a few months, and we could kind of come back and talk about our own maps and give you guys. I think what would be fun to do do's and don'ts of feng shui in general is like showing, if I can find this online, like a room that has bad feng shui and then showing what they would do to turn it into good feng shui
Oh,
and
that
like
would be a
actually
good
show
one.
furniture like moving to new positions because I think it's hard
Yeah.
to visualize just talking about it. But
What was your bad feng shui?
um any bad feng shui in my house on accident, I'm trying to think if I have any. I don't know, I'm sure I do, but it's hard to look back on it as a whole because there's so many rules. I feel like I have to look through the rules
I
to
think maybe
see.
when you first moved in, maybe your garage had bad feng shui just
Oh my
because they
gosh,
it as like a storage area and
it
it
was
was
so
sort of like
bad.
it was sort of
Yes.
like just throw everything we don't know about right here,
Yep.
right now. But now it's a
Throw it in the
lot better.
garage.
And
Yeah,
you
now
like
it's
you
super
spent a
organized.
lot of time on it.
That is my the bane of my existence, that garage. Yeah, that's true. I think honestly, surprisingly, I think my mirrors are properly placed. So that's the
Mm.
main thing that I feel like we're on because we went to the mirrors today. But I'm sure in other ways I have bad feng shui. But my bed is not have it's not a in front of a window. It is next to one, but bed's in commanding position, couches in my office is my bad feng shui actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my office, you guys, when you walk into it, both our mine and Angela's desks are facing the wall, which is a very bad feng shui because someone could sneak up on us. They need to be the other way. But our office is very long. And so it's shaped in a weird way. It's like the best way we could do it. So it is interesting to think about
You could
like,
put one desk on the opposite wall, like on the
yeah,
wall door, the door wall.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could put one on the door wall. That's true. But then, so that's why I don't like that is because then the sunlight's behind you.
That's
So the
true. And
reason
then
we
you
put
can't
them,
see this.
yeah. So we put them on the wall where the sunlight comes into our faces, especially being on Zoom for work and stuff. It's nice. But I'm interested to see, like I said, I want to incorporate feng shui into our next house a lot more. Like I kind of want to start with a feng shui. Maybe I'll start with a Bagua map when we buy our next
Yes.
house from the beginning. And maybe I can show that to you guys and then, work things in that way. That would be really cool.
Yeah,
I
I would
love
like
it.
that. That would be cool.
Well, thanks you guys for like listening to seriously another 50 minutes. Okay, we have to go. Thank you for listening to another 50 minutes of this. So 90 minutes in total of Bagua, of feng shui. Like, thank you.
Bagua?
And the Bagua map. Comment below. Let us know if you liked it. If you're gonna do a Bagua map on your home, please like either tell us about it or share a picture if you're okay with sharing it with us. And we just want to see. We can also share them on our
Hmm.
story if you want, but we don't have to. I just want to see if anyone tries it out and let us know what in your home is good or bad feng shui. Leave a
Hmm.
comment, even if it's unintentional, because like I said, we didn't know much before we started this, but now we all know. Now we all know how to do good feng shui. I'm so
Yes.
excited. So let us know about the feng shui in your home. Definitely follow us to stay up to date. There will be so many more new episodes with just the most random fun topics coming up. So I'm excited. Lots of guest episodes. Actually, Marissa's bringing a guest very soon. So stay
Yay.
tuned. It's going to be really, really fun. I actually think she's coming up really quick.
I know.
So, oh, next week. Next week's
Oh,
episode is the guest
I have
after
to
this
talk
one.
to her.
LOL. So, yeah, as you guys are listening, I'm pretty sure it's going to be your next week episode. So, that's really
Yay.
exciting. And oh, wait, no, it's not. I lied.
Oh,
Just kidding. Sorry, guys. um, in a couple weeks, though,
that's
it'll be
okay.
one of Marissa's guests. So, it's going to be super fun. All that to say, we love you guys. Thank you for listening. Comment your feng shui. That's all. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm out of energy at this point. I have nothing to say.
And
And with that, I'm Erica.
I'm Marissa,
And
and
we
we
run
run
on
on
coffee.
coffee.
And with that, I'm Arika.
And I'm Marissa. And we run on coffee.